Whether it is public or private doesn't matter. A large deal is a large deal at the end of the day. The contours of that will slightly differ, but it's a large deal, a large deal. Now, the challenge is the kind of time it will take to meet with the decision makers, to convince them, to figure out whether they will pay you what you want for what you're going to service them, trying to figure out the decision making process and the criteria. And Manish said a very beautiful thing. He says, the deal starts with a particular size, form, and shape. And by the time you come somewhere in the middle, everything would have possibly changed about where it all started. And then you have evolved deal construct that you're looking at. Commercial structure constructs would have changed. The timelines would have changed. And so imagine if you have one such deal in your bag, which you were depending on to be able to meet your quota. And if that did not come through, then there is this huge capability of suddenly wiping off what is in your funnel. So it's an either you get it or you don't get it. And that quickly brings me to the point of saying you need a plan B deal and a plan C deal in parallel. And so you can't expect a rookie, put him on a large deal and expect that poor chap to work miracles. The person has to shadow a senior person who can guide, coach. There's a lot of coaching that is required, and most VPs of sales don't have the time to coach. Manish will agree with me on this. They're pretty much left on their own, and I'm sorry to say I'm one of them, but many a times sales VPs think that their job is to get into a weekly pipeline call and ask, hey, this is our target and how much are we tracking towards that number, right? And at baseline selling, we argue that at least 50% of a sales VP's time has to be spent with the team on a deal, trying to see what can be done to win that deal, rather than ask that there is no right to ask the question, hey, have you met your target? The question has to be asked, what have I done to help the team to meet their target? So, long story short, it's a chapter by itself. And given the mic, I can continue like this and convert it to a 8-hour session. That's what we are all good at. And I think the gist of what I'm trying to say is being well understood. I think there's a call for a lot more of this understanding of what we need to equip the teams with, and then put them. I would say the successful mantra is, and one more thing before I go, every sales guy needs motivation. And this motivation won't come by sitting with that chap in a coffee shop. This motivation for a sales guy comes when she or he wins something. And so I often tell sales leaders, keep the initial period of the tenure when a person comes into the team, give them some very, very soft targets. Make them so soft that they can achieve those targets. And those little small gratifications, those little small, lovely, great feeling of, I brought this deal home. Nothing beats this motivation. And a highly motivated salesperson can do miracles, right?